My beloved child, stop scrolling. This is not content, it's a divine interruption. Right now, heaven is moving. The archangel has gone ahead. The battle in the unseen has been fought, and the message I've sent you has finally broken through. This isn't just another moment. It's your moment. What you're about to hear will explain why the delays felt endless, why the silence was deafening, and why you were overlooked by man, but not by me. Do not look away, because what I am about to reveal will not only confirm what your spirit has suspected, it will break chains, restore what was stolen, and reignite the truth of who you are. Stay until the end. Your future demands it. Instead, it is a sacred announcement, penned with blood, tears, and the unwavering struggle issuing from the loftiest heights of heaven. It now lies before you like a golden key, fashioned precisely for the destiny I have authored over your life. The Archangel Michael, defender of righteousness and guardian of the chosen, has not stood idly by. He has pierced unseen barriers your human thoughts cannot fully fathom. He has waged war through layers of resistance in the heavens, layers so dense with darkness that even a single word from my throne demanded angelic escort to reach your inmost being. Michael did not arrive unaccompanied. He came with an army. Their purpose is not spectacle or intimidation, but to ensure your steps will no longer falter in confusion, not for even one more moment. You might not perceive how often Michael has intervened for you, to clear the road before you, to shield you from the enemy's fire, to restrain the very shadows that attempted to extinguish the flame of hope in your soul. Though you never saw him, he shed tears on your behalf. Yes, an archangel wept, not because of frailty, but because his eyes beheld the unseen injustice arrayed against you, sly yet vicious assaults on your destiny, disguised as little more than detours or inconveniences. He alerted the realms of heaven, he summoned additional forces. And now, do not open your physical sight alone, but peer with your spirit. Unlock the deepest room of your heart, that inner sanctuary long shut by discouragement, fatigue, and the deadening pang of hopes unfulfilled. Open, not for passing fascination or simple diversion, but to embrace something of weight and eternity. Redemption, confirmation, a holy release of what has long been withheld. This concerns you. It is about the future I have personally written. It involves the spiritual lineage coursing through you, the aspirations you assumed were interred, and the pledges you feared had slipped into oblivion. In this divine juncture, my desire is to reclaim what rightfully belongs to you, what the enemy stole, not by intimidation or deceit, but by the pure radiance of my light, and not through human weaponry, but by my spirit. Therefore, brace yourself. I am sending a specific individual, unlike any you have encountered. They will not come with prestige or outward grandeur. No recognizable uniforms or celebrated titles will accompany them. They will appear as subtly as a breeze through a space closed off for too long. They come, not to dazzle or entertain, but carrying the heft of truth, a trove once locked, veiled in dust, and detained by supernatural obstructions. Now I proclaim that truth is on the verge of being unsealed and placed into your grasp, not because you have perfected all things or surpassed anyone in virtue, but because you remained. You did not flee. You stood firm when the simpler road was to retreat. You clung to faith while the world ridiculed your patience. You prayed through seasons when heaven seemed to echo silence. And I, who see every hidden moment, have not overlooked your endurance. I have remembered your tears, your quiet surrender, and the wars fought in secret. The hour is upon us. What was concealed will soon be brought into the open. The messenger may look like a stranger to you at first, yet you will know them through a spiritual confirmation, not by their outward features, but by a profound, indescribable certainty in your spirit. An intuitive sense that something from above is unfolding. You will not comprehend why your heart quivers. You will not grasp why tears surface the moment they speak. But I tell you now, this is your assurance. This is me. This is the appointed season. Prepare to receive not only a declaration, but also a restoration. Replies to questions long unanswered, puzzle fragments that left you disoriented. All those times you cried, "Lord, why was I made to endure this?" will begin to find illumination. Not in one overwhelming wave, but just enough to propel you ahead with a heart that is more complete than ever. I am unlatching a doorway, a corridor still untraveled in your spirit, a passage you never realized you had, yet it has always been etched into the divine outline of your destiny. The messenger I dispatch will not stir fleeting emotion. They will jolt the very foundations. They will open what has long been sealed, serving as a reminder from heaven itself that you have never been forgotten, never forsaken, and that your saga shall not end in agony. It will conclude in glory. Hence, set your heart in readiness, not with haste but with holiness. Bathe your thoughts in my word. Guard the thresholds of your soul like a sentry awaiting dawn. And when I arrive, whether through an individual, a moment, or a small prompting, you will sense it. There will be no more doubt, no more haze, no more anxiety that you might be imagining things. My cherished one, prepare yourself as soil, yearning for the season's first rain. What I am about to unveil is not just to be grasped, but to be lived. It is a sacred restoration. The one bearing my message carries more than heavenly words. They hold the weight of something lost, an essential piece of your destiny, a share of heavenly inheritance meant for you from the start. This treasure was taken, not because you failed to safeguard it, but due to the wiles of darkness. Now I am shaking the unseen sphere to commence a holy reversal that no hand can interrupt. My emissary is not just a herald of kind tidings, but the designated bearer of a divine current, entrusted with intangible keys, stepping into your life with an authority that breaks seals, not by captivating language or superficial magnetism, but through the power of divine commission, sent by me to the precise place at the ordained time. They return with what was once detained by demonic obstructions. And more than that, they bring authority to proclaim reversal, a comprehensive turning around, and overturning from on high. You wondered if the fault lay with you, if you were insufficiently pure, faithful, or steadfast. But I want you to hear this unshakable truth. For countless years, you were not mistaken. Your destiny was stolen by one never entitled to it. You were tricked from your rightful station, drawn from the path I laid out. Even though you stayed obedient, persevering in prayer, it felt like you were living beneath a hidden ceiling. That barrier, my child, was never placed by my hand. It sprang from a spiritual switch, one I am dismantling bit by bit. The individual who once usurped your blessing was not merely committing wrongs in the material realm. They were an instrument in the clutch of darkness, a deceiver who masqueraded in borrowed favor, seizing a place I personally designated for you. Meanwhile, you kept quiet, trusting that patience equated to love and sacrifice exemplified spiritual growth. But now I, the righteous Lord, shall speak for you. I shall nullify the pages that were unlawfully signed. I shall draw into the light all that was hidden. You need not go to battle alone or seek personal vengeance, for this conflict is mine to fight. I have proclaimed the order. My angels are mobilizing. The hostile powers that tightened your chains are recoiling. Those who seized what was rightly yours shall retreat, not by your cry, but by my irrefutable edict. Return it. Yes, a holy transference is at hand. No one can obstruct it. None can pretend ignorance. Because this time, I will act openly, and what was taken, love, honor, positions, resources, even sacred alliances, is beginning to pour back like an unstoppable current, not by ordinary means, but through a supernatural route that I alone open. The imprints of those records, yes, the scrolls in my spiritual domain, invisible to mortal eyes, are hallowed. They bear your name, sealed with heaven's eternal stamp, no counterfeit signature able to withstand my imprint. It signifies heaven's endorsement that you have always been the chosen one, chosen not by human bias, but through my sovereign design. Now, I affirm this truth and restore the entire framework so you can advance without veering from the axis of your God-ordained destiny. Yes, you are about to step into a time of recovering, not as a beggar pleading for mercy, but as a legitimate heir standing on truth, pressing forward with a heart tempered through trials. You will not walk in pride, but in the dignity heaven bestows. You will not need to shout to be seen, for I shall be the voice whispering into others' minds to pay attention to you. I will cause them to recall your name, once replaced, scorned, or overshadowed, and now it shall be spoken anew, with reverence and amazement. Do not be startled when everything begins to quiver, for such trembling signals my nearness. Major shifts always strip away falsehood. Those who erected their success on stolen ground will shake when my illumination uncovers them. And you, the one who lived with loss, quietness, and self-restraint for the sake of peace, shall be the very person I elevate to proclaim my glory among nations. So keep your heart unwavering. Do not give ear to rumors. Do not turn back when others lament losing positions that were never truly theirs. Do not stumble when the enemy tries to resurrect your old errors. Listen carefully. I am not solely restoring what was seized. I am erasing every invented record that accused you. I cleanse, I renew, I reinstate. Above that, I erect an angelic hedge around you so no one will ever rob you again. You are approaching a day called the Day of Return, a day of returning to your identity, your inheritance, your reward. And when you arrive there, people will see not just a person, but a living testament to the justice and the redemptive force of the Lord your God. So ready your heart. Whatever was once taken shall now be returned, not by mere words, but by might. This is not just a narrative to be shared, but a truth you shall walk in. And when it finally manifests, you will recognize it. Your soul will sing uncoached. You will stand tall, freed from the weight you have long carried. You will embrace it as someone affirmed by heaven, by me, by the irreplaceable destiny I scripted for you from the outset. My child, I urge you now to still your spirit, because the unfolding is no longer hidden preparation. This is the instant that causes the darkness to tremble as light draws near. Those who climb through deceit, twisting realities to hold places never rightfully theirs, now sense the rumble deep within. Though they may not openly admit it, they know exposure is imminent. They feel the rightful order returning. They perceive every breath of righteous judgment closing in. They realize time is no longer under their command. You notice their manners shift. Individuals who once were cold or aloof suddenly offer awkward niceties. Do not be fooled. Their remorse is not genuine, nor does their turnaround arise from sincerity. It stems from the fear awakening in them, from the spiritual shake that confronts them. Sin left unconfessed will inevitably quake in the presence of light. And now that I begin to draw the covers from what was kept secret, they can't conceal it any longer. But my treasured child, listen. The messenger I have dispatched will not be fooled by appearances. They will not be halted by sweetened facades or deterred by doors that look friendly on the outside. They carry divine discernment and are cloaked with power. So they will not tiptoe around deceit, but move directly toward you. They are ruled neither by sentiment nor by manipulation, for they come on a purposeful assignment to restore what was stolen and to authenticate my anointed. Yes, this refers to you, my beloved. Stay vigilant. The time for hazy uncertainty has ended. Every observation, every nudge, every hushed voice in your mind deserves your notice. More now than ever. I do not wish for you to watch the door yet fail to step across its threshold. I do not want you only to sense something stirring, but never respond. I do not want you to stroll past a sacred intersection as though it were nothing. Hence, I say, guard your doorway. Mind the timing. Let your heart attune to even the slightest shift. This time, you will not allow it to pass. Not like previous seasons when you were paralyzed by the absence of confirmation, consumed by self-doubt and fear of error. letting the moment slip through your fingers like the wind. I witnessed all of that. I never criticized you. I knew your intent was simply to walk in obedience. But now, you shall not walk in vagueness. You will proceed in clarity, for I refuse to let you wander in perpetual guesswork. I will make everything undeniably apparent. One method I will use is through your dreams. O my child, prepare tonight for an encounter of heavenly origins. Dreams are not just mental illusions. They are channels of divine communication, spiritual maps, the dialect of heaven painted upon the night's canvas. Perhaps you think they are broken images, but mark my words, every fragment holds spiritual significance. Each scene, every sound, each number is permeated with instruction. Do not disregard them. Do not belittle them. Do not awaken and move on as though nothing significant occurred. Write them down. Pray. Ask me, and I will unfold their meaning. Archangel Michael is sending signals to your spirit. No pomp, no show, only the impartation of what is vital. A code, an alert, or a validation about the new stage you stand on the verge of. He has not appeared by accident. He has been commissioned for this very night. This is a pivotal juncture. Come morning, the mundane world may still look quiet, but in the spirit, a gateway to heaven will open, and those who truly hear will detect the soft echoes of angelic footsteps across the threshold of destiny. You have dreamt previously, dismissing them as mental reflexes, but that was not the case. Many were my reminders, my signals, my messages of prophecy I sent out well ahead of time, before you were equipped to grasp them. At last, you are ready. Your mind is honed, your heart refined. You have learned to locate my presence in the hush. This time you will know the meaning behind what I send. You will no longer ask, could that have been from God? For my spirit within will testify. Have no fear if your dreams contain strange images. Do not panic if you find yourself in unfamiliar, otherworldly settings. This is how the spirit realm communicates. This is my method to pull you into deeper realities that remain invisible to normal sight. You might see a key, a door, a face, a phrase, a diagram, an object, anything that deeply stirs your soul. Upon waking, lay it all before me, and I shall decode it. Oh, my anointed one, you stand at the edge of transformation, and the darkness recognizes it. That is why the atmosphere feels chaotic. That is why those who formerly opposed you now speak with unexpected kindness. That is why you sense an unseen pushback burdening your peace. Yet do not be intimidated, nor suspect yourself. Such chaos is only the final outcry of the soon-to-be overthrown. When heaven's gates open, darkness trembles. When your destiny is reinstated, all impostures are unveiled. I did not guide you through these years so you would miss out on what I have in store. I am the faithful one, and if I say you will not miss it this time, it is not a hollow promise but a heavenly vow, authorized by the courts above. You will see, hear, enter, and know. This is the desire your spirit has longed for since the beginning. Be prepared, not with worry but with keen readiness. Maintain watchfulness, like a sentry anticipating a royal signal in the night. Jot down your visions. Keep track of the faintest impressions, the subtlest wind, the tiniest dream symbol. Through those very impressions, I will speak of more substantial revelations yet to come. My beloved, I want you to remain conscious of your own heartbeat in this second, because what is arriving will not appear with ear-splitting thunder or lightning that severs the sky. It will emerge quietly yet powerfully, in stillness yet potent enough to shake your soul at its foundation. I am preparing you for an encounter, not an encounter crowned by the world's applause, but a holy touch capable of forever altering how you view your life, and even more, how you see yourself in the brilliant reality about to unfold. The person I send, the one who will knock on your door, may not show up with sophisticated speech or polished reasoning. They might not arrive bearing extravagant greetings or making a stunning entrance. You will recognize them not with your eyes, but by the surge in your own spirit. From the moment you receive that letter, whether physically in your hands or as a symbol, a mere whisper, or an item placed before you. A brilliant light will stir in your heart that cannot be dismissed. It is not just the light of understanding, but the light of genuine truth, concealed until now, distorted, a truth you require to finally exit the haze that has long surrounded you. When you open that letter, in a spiritual sense, a portal of comprehension within you will swing wide. Heavenly script will etch itself upon your innermost being. Where once there was blur, clarity will burst forth. Questions left unanswered for countless years will begin to find responses. The hurt you viewed as purposeless will merge into the grand pattern I have painted from eternity. This individual is not here to sway you via logic, but to guide you into the heart of truth. They might not linger in your orbit. Their involvement may be fleeting. Nonetheless, even a brief intersection will sow an everlasting imprint. From that juncture onward, you will never perceive the world as you did before. This truth is not here to condemn or frighten you. It is here to set you free. For did I not proclaim, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free"? Now, that truth nears, not from a remote corner, but entering your very dwelling. Indeed, truth is coming into your house, not as a mere concept or a random article you once read, but as a living presence, irrefutable, permeating your schedule, your everyday routines, your every breath. It cannot be postponed, it cannot be sidestepped. It is en route, ready to fill each crevice, every cloistered spot, each secret hidden under layers of polished words and socially acceptable images. No one can bar it. No power can snuff it out any longer. For I have dictated, "Let light shine in darkness, so all secrets are revealed." This truth shall not only expose others, it will unveil you as well. The unspoken aches, the boundaries you inadvertently placed upon yourself, the binds I have long wanted to remove. Nevertheless, do not be alarmed, my child. I do not disclose things to bring shame. I reveal them to bring healing. This is irrevocable. Once truth steps through your doorway, everything shifts. How you regard other people, how you intercede, how you listen for my voice, and even how you treat yourself. Because this truth arrives not to pass sentence, but to bring lucidity and instill bravery for the next chapter I have charted for your life. A chapter no longer burdened by past dust, no longer halted by unspoken tales. Stay awake, be on guard, stay in tune with the faintest sign. It could emerge early in the day, before your eyes are fully open. It could appear in a dream thick with symbols, bizarre yet laden with heavenly codes inscribed by Michael's own hand. It might take shape in an abrupt meeting, a single phrase, a scrap of scripture that leaps from the page. Do not ignore these signs. Each forms a stroke in the masterpiece I am unveiling right before you. When it happens, you will sense it in your core, like a note finally striking perfect resonance. You will not need external validation or elaborate exposition, for my spirit within will confirm. This is the moment, this is the one, this is truth. And once it unfurls, your life can never revert to what it was. There was a time you lived in expectation, yet never found a decisive answer. Today, I have come, not merely to reply, but to place in your hand the very key. You may have believed you were abandoned, but you were actually preserved for a threshold no one could misread, a time set by divinity. That moment is now. Thus, open your heart, remain vigilant. Prepare the hidden rooms of your soul as you would a sacred chamber for a most revered visitor. Make notes, offer prayers, and let my spirit draw you deeper. For what is about to transpire is not momentary, but a pivot point. It is the resolution long sought, a fresh start. And when that person appears, whether they speak at length or barely utter a word, their very presence will finalize a new covenant between you and heaven. My beloved, every wound you endured has been seen. Not merely the pain, but the silent bewilderment, the internal grappling when your spiritual gut feelings were cast aside, when the sincerity in you was shrugged off by honeyed but deceptive words. I was there the day they named your sacred intuition delusion, the times their actions turned your spiritual alertness into doubt, the times they manipulated you and left you so mystified you struggled to separate truth from falsehood. I watched you close your eyes, quell the unsettled sense, and choose to see goodness in others despite your spirit's silent alarms. You held your tongue for unity's sake, yielded so that others might advance, and resigned yourself to stepping aside, not because of cowardice, but because your faith had been schooled in love, shaped by endurance. Yet in solitude you questioned, could I be wrong? Have I misjudged? Is my mind just playing tricks? Today my wish is for you to hear one unwavering declaration. You are not crazy. You were not deluded by feelings. You heard rightly. You perceived correctly. You discerned with truth. Those intuitive signals, those deep sensations no logic could interpret, were in fact the alerts I instilled in you, holy warnings from my spirit within you. Not spurts of suspicion. They originated from the Holy Spirit, who nestled in your heart, whispering reality even as others whispered lies. Truth is coming, though not like a chaotic storm set to unhinge you. It will not barrel in as a destructive force. Instead, it will emerge as something strangely familiar, because in the quiet reaches of your being, you always knew. Deep within, protected from the bedlam of the world, you recognized it would eventually arrive. And when it finally does, you shall not be stunned or perplexed. Rather, you will feel as though, for the first time in your prolonged, hushed perseverance, you can fully exhale. Because, my child, you have been singled out, not out of flawlessness or superior might, but because the world sees only the surface, while I regard the heart. Others pursued showy spots and noisy recognition, but you chose faithfulness. Others ran after applause, but you stationed yourself in the stillness of my presence, eager for the breath of my spirit. That is why you were selected to perceive what was invisible to many. That is why the adversary recoils at the mere thought of you trusting your spiritual sensitivity. Now, Archangel Michael, the custodian of heaven's gate and defender of the appointed, utters a defining statement. A vote has transpired in the spiritual dimension, not among mortals, not a human debate, but a celestial council of angels, elders, and heavenly beings assembled before the throne of God to declare the truth concerning you, your steadfastness through tribulations, the heartbreak you quietly bore, and the integrity you maintained when the pressure urged you to compromise. I, the Almighty, have announced a verdict. It is not just comforting, but also a divine reorientation, a formal intervention into your earthly timeline. And once heaven has spoken, there is no earthly force that can countermand it. When a ruling is ratified above, all creation aligns to see it through, not at some point next year, nor in a moment when you appear worthy enough, but now, immediately. At this very hour, you traverse a sacred alignment of time, a juncture where physical hours and my divine schedule merge, a time when silent pleas start echoing, a time when the hidden labor of disregarded seasons will at last bloom, a time when supernatural action ceases to be postponed, materializing in your reality, influencing each step, each sleepless night, every relationship, each door once barred. Because the chosen hour has come, I will not stand by while you wander in indefinite confusion. Everything veiled from your eyes, the well-kept intentions, the dark conspiracies, the intangible bonds that had quietly encircled your mind, will now be torn away by the glow emanating from my throne. This goes beyond mere revelation. It is a deliberate unveiling ordained by heaven. My messenger has broken every wall of opposition, not by overstepping authority, but with my authorization, for this is a timely rescue meant to free you from the jaws of deception that have gnawed at your soul. I have caught your tears in solitude. I have heard your subdued cries in the darkness. I have observed those individuals who manipulated your uncertainty, leveraging it to steer you away from the plan I established. But now I declare a finish to guesswork, a finish to unspecified reservations, a finish to cycles delivering you back to the same misery again. I proclaim plainly, no more blindness. I have commanded a brilliance to pierce the heavy clouds that dulled your perception, the influences that once made you falter, the voices that sowed discord in your thinking. They shall be laid bare under the truth that flows from me, the one who is steadfast and keeps no secrets from the beloved. My child, do not be taken aback if individuals around you start panicking or trembling with intensity. It is the light unmasking the dark corners they once found comforting. They are not dreading your transformation. They dread that once your eyes open, their blueprint of control collapses. For their contrivances were never built on sincerity or compassion, but on half-truths and your intrinsic yearning for love. Yet now, you will no longer be led blindly. My Holy Spirit is guiding you. Your eyes grow sharper by the day, your ears attuned to my voice, your soul so fortified that none can bring you back into past confusion. I have marked out for you a phase where deceit can no longer hide. You will discern not through mental capacity alone, but also through my Spirit bearing witness within, who truly originates from me, and who only acts the part while serving darkness. I will sharpen your insight like a watchman's eyes in the night, so sweet words lacking genuine spiritual roots will not sway you. Because you prayed for truth, I bestow not only solutions but deeper vision, a renewed core, and a discernment surpassing mere appearances. No, you need not reveal anyone's guilt yourself. Leave that to me. You need not spar verbally, for your clarity itself is an unshakable triumph. Freed from uncertainty and firmly anchored in truth, you are immovable. I will instruct you to walk in tranquility while others stir in distress. I will show you how to stand upright, even as some panic at losing their grip on deception. Watch. A silence orchestrated by my Spirit outweighs all the clamor the world can produce. Refuse any guilt as your awareness intensifies and your decisions change. Don't let mistaken compassion drag you back into what I am leading you out of. Love does not thrive in blindness, and grace does not require you to blindly venture into darkness. I never carried you so far, only to abandon you at the crossroads. I brought you here to open the path toward your true calling, one you can only follow with eyes wide open, wholly alert, and rooted in the identity I gave you. You might be startled when those once closest respond most violently to your clarity. Do not measure truth by their outcry. Those with nothing to hide do not fear exposure, while those confronted by light try every maneuver to pull you into the fog that used to serve them. But I myself form a protective wall around you. Slanders won't harm you. Old tactics cannot undermine the faith emerging in you now. My beloved, the moment has arrived, not merely to glance, but to truly see, not only to listen, but to perceive, not just to walk, but to lead. Once you were suppressed by people who worried that if you awakened, they would lose their platform. Now, it is my power that urges you onward, lifts you from the mire, and sets you in a place where quiet distortions will no longer silence your voice. This is a time of severing intangible bonds, dismantling phony religious facades, breaking historical and emotional entanglements. I long for you to tread in clarity, authority, and spiritual might. You shall not remain with eyes veiled to reality, but instead see with the vantage of heaven. I am not summoning you to paranoia, but to heightened spiritual insight. I am not telling you to trust no one, but to fix your attention on my voice above all others. And, my child, upon leaving the land of dimness, you will discover a sky wide open. Gone are the winding roads, the empty vows, the people who exploited your innocent faith. You will be joined by those who are equally awakened, those who live transparently, carrying the same radiance, harboring the same longing for unfiltered truth. Move onward. Let every footstep resonate with the resolve of a spirit enlightened. Do not halt for tears intended to manipulate. Do not cling to what I'm taking from your grasp. And do not dawdle. time will not wait. I guide you to a realm where only those who forsake confusion can truly flourish. This is a season of lucidity, refinement, and holy affirmation. A shift is taking shape in the invisible world, like a cyclone sweeping through the skies, breaking open what was locked and thinning the barrier between heaven and earth. No longer an epoch of silence or postponement. I, the living God, am acting, not only through words, but by unmistakable signs. Miracles will surface that defy normal understanding, stirring hearts in unheard of ways. You must walk by faith and with deep alertness, for what once seemed random will be revealed as sacred links in the purposeful chain I have arranged for your life. Make your soul ready for an unexpected call. It might initially puzzle you because it will differ from what you had envisioned. Perhaps it comes from a person you tried to forget, a voice you never thought would return. Maybe it is a blocked number you swore you'd never see again. Yet, when you answer, you will feel an inward trembling. That voice, shaky and uncertain, carries a hidden truth that has long been caged. They will approach you not with confidence, but with contrition or confusion in their eyes. Do not respond impulsively or sever the call out of dread of facing the past. I can choose any route, any vessel, to bring you the critical missing piece you have so desperately sought. This time, my messenger will not assume the shape you predicted, wearing no bright crown or heavenly glow. They might arrive in humility, a stranger crossing your path for mere minutes, an email from an unknown source, or even a restaurant server whose words strike you like an arrow in your chest. It could be someone you once named insignificant, yet a single line from them will smash the barriers around your heart. They might even appear in a dream as a face too hazy to pinpoint, leaving you to wake with a weighty conviction in your spirit, as though heaven directly called your name. My beloved, the external image is irrelevant. What truly matters is the sacred gravity embedded in that instant. You will notice a stirring in your very core. That is my spirit's signature. Do not gloss over it. Do not allow old notions or fear to push you away from a moment I arranged. For I am not confined to established methods, nor do I follow human logic. When I speak, it may come in the breeze, in the glance of a stranger, or even in something that seems mundane. But know this, anything from me is never arbitrary. I am reawakening within you a heightened perception, so your eyes will not be distracted by fleeting emotion, but anchored in spiritual discernment. Sometimes, the simplest statements contain the key for unlocking the next stage. I will evaluate your heart through common scenarios, testing whether you can discern the treasure hidden within the mundane. Just as I arrived in humanity as a vulnerable child in a manger, not in royal pomp, I am reasserting a principle. Outer polish does not define the scale of my work. You may encounter fresh testing through resurrected memories, a call from someone you forgave but never entirely healed from, or a circumstance compelling you to face wounds you tried to bury. Look at everything through my perspective. It is not pulling you backward to hurt you again, but to close incomplete chapters, clearing the route I have laid out. This meeting is not meant to make you fall, but to rebuild you on a robust foundation, steadier, freer, and more complete than before. My dear child, I am cultivating in you a spiritual sensitivity to grasp signs from above. No more drifting, no more confusion. By the Spirit's testimony, you will discern what truly comes from me. Others may not share your vision. They may remark that you are too sensitive, overthinking. Yet keep in mind that those not walking in the Spirit cannot interpret the motions of heaven. Therefore, be cautious not to shrug off any occurrence. I can utilize the unplanned to carve a path. I can transform an apparent disruption into a pivotal moment of breakthrough. I can even use complete silence to guide you inward, so you hear your own heart more distinctly. Sometimes there will be no immediate sign, only a soft nudge. Even that faint nudge is me, coaxing you toward alertness. Treasure your attentiveness. Do not let the bustle of life drown out my heavenly signals. Occasionally, I will appear in the shape of a plea for help, someone in need of direction or forgiveness. They come, not because they wield strength, but because they are at their limit. And you, the one I have lifted and mended, will serve as the conduit of my compassion. Let not your old traumas seal your heart. I am teaching you that genuine love partners with discernment. You can demonstrate kindness without exploitation, receive from others without stepping back into your own hurts, and show mercy while preserving your tranquility. Be prudent yet open, my child. Guard your heart, but remain receptive. Once the fog is gone, discernment abounds. When darkness disperses, you can see what I am doing. No deceit will mislead you if you stand in the light. You will inhabit a new awareness, filtering each statement, each motion, each encounter through the beam of the Holy Spirit. Long before fully opening yourself, ultimately, you will piece together the phone calls, the dreams, the masked visitors that did not align with your expectations. You will see they were threads in a tapestry from heaven, not to bewilder, but to guide you into your rightful place. In that place, you will not wander in darkness, but become one who radiates light, who truly listens, who I will use to awaken other lost souls. Hence, when that moment comes, do not brush it aside. It might be heaven's whisper clothed in a fragile tone, a peculiar dream, or a simple message. If you perceive it and act, you will be ushered into a season where miracles are not occasional but daily bread for those choosing trust and obedience. My beloved, listen intently. These words are far from mere sounds. They are potent decrees etched by my own hand onto your destiny. I, the living God, hereby declare a solemn hour, a shift that cannot be undone. Like a lightning bolt slashing open the night sky, truth is descending with unstoppable velocity. It requires no invitation, no human assent, no license. My truth strides in like a soldier without a blade, yet with the power to demolish every hidden mechanism, every falsehood, every plot to confine you to a place never intended for you. Prepare yourself, for soon you shall stand witness to what transpires when the truth of heaven sets foot in full authority. It will stride into manipulated conversations contrived to exclude you. It will reach corners where you were absent, but your name was dragged into malicious schemes. It will shatter every staged show, every scenario founded on envy or terror. Since you never scrambled to claim position, I honor you with a crown. Since you did not war with human weaponry, I pour on you a blessing none can revoke. And what you are about to receive transcends mere validation. It will serve as a visible demonstration that if I choose someone, no voice can gainsay it. A new gateway of provision stands open before you. Though it may not appear as you once imagined, it will not arrive as the expected transfer or the promised contract you always anticipated. Nor will it arrive by methods you might have meticulously planned. I need you to grasp that this is not the fruit of your own energy, but a manifestation from my courts. I will orchestrate it so thoroughly that all voices against you will be stunned, every doubter left speechless. This provision does more than fulfill your needs. It is a heavenly sign that you have stepped into reaping season after consistently sowing in quiet. Are you aware that hushed discussions occurred, aiming to push back your elevation into the position I had designated for you? They concluded you were immature or lacked credentials, that you needed more time. Yet they never understood that my qualification does not hinge on age, recommendation, or mortal applause. I see the heart. I caught sight of your perseverance behind the scenes. The times you granted pardon when you might have risen in anger, your obedience when it was simpler to abandon everything, your nights of prayer that no one else saw. And for that reason, on this day, heaven not only releases but proclaims, you are prepared. Prepared not just for receiving, but for sustaining. Not solely for blessing, but for being a vessel of blessing. Not just for abundance, but for employing that abundance as a heavenly tool. This marks a permanent transformation, not a transient elevation. I am repositioning you from being a beneficiary to being a caretaker, from quietly waiting to generously distributing. Yet I ask one thing of you now: cast aside your lingering doubts of my goodness. My child, what I am about to unfold for you will silence human tongues, not to glorify you, but to verify that this can only be heaven's operation. You have navigated hidden deficiency, but remained untainted by resentment. You were barred from tables set for you, yet never demanded your rightful seat through loud claims. Thus, I myself now arrange a table for you as your foes look on, not to humiliate them, but to confirm my principle. The one who abides in me cannot be locked out. Anticipate that some will withdraw as they witness you entering this new revealing. Expect the eyes that once seemed warm to cool, because few can withstand the brilliance you now embody. Not all have humility enough to celebrate your cup overflowing, but do not let that diminish your joy. My purpose for you is not to please people, but to accomplish my enduring plan. And remember, money itself is not the highest reward. The most priceless treasure I grant in this time is my renewed confidence. When I assign you something, it is because I observe depth, loyalty, and a servant's heart. Preserve that trust with honor. Do not allow comfort to detach you from me. Do not let progress prompt you to forget your source. I am not only the giver, but also the one who watches how gifts are employed. If you persist in humility, you will see expansions that never dry out. In this era, hidden matters will surface. What you once petitioned for privately will become a public emblem. The tears you shed unseen will be transformed into streams of hope for others. The visions you presumed extinct will resurrect, more stalwart than when they were first birthed, because it does not lean on your ability, but on my fidelity. My child, I am now granting you what your soul yearned for in silent urgency, a confirmation direct from heaven. Not conjured by your mind, nor a faint echo from well-meaning humans, but living and powerful from the one who formed you, who discerns your every thought before it takes form. You have not been mistaken. You are not traversing an error. All you have weathered is being knitted together by my hands. At this sacred interval, I declare, you have passed the hidden test. I did not evaluate only your public roles, but especially your unseen devotion. Moments spent kneeling in private, times when you chose mercy over retaliation, times when you embraced holiness amid loneliness, and faithfully continued with no applause. Such seemingly small acts soared through the corridors of heaven. I documented every tear you refused to shed in front of others. I heard every softened word you withheld to spare another's feelings. I noted every occasion you stepped aside, even though you deserved the spotlight. Now I, your Lord, will speak up on your behalf. Child, once I open my mouth, every barrier built from misconceptions collapses. Once I issue my verdict, everything distorted is corrected in my light. When I proceed, no earthly force can alter what I set in motion. You don't need a secondary advocate, for I shall defend you. You need not hide behind a shield, for I have posted a protector infinitely stronger than all forces of evil, Archangel Michael himself. From the front lines of the spirit realm, Michael now decrees, the sword is unsheathed, heaven's quiet is turning into fervent action. What lay covered is revealed, not to disgrace, but to rescue the guiltless from threads of deceit. You were told you were inadequate, that your part was negligible, that your hope was too far-fetched. But the entire spiritual universe now sees you. You are noticed, you are elected, and you are safeguarded by my name. This is not a short-lived dream or a glimmer of optimism. It is destiny knocking at your door, an appointed instant woven into time before you were conceived in your mother's womb. It is no random event, no haphazard incident. The door you hear is the same one I purposely closed in earlier years to stop you from wandering, and now I am opening it for you to finally enter into what has always rightfully belonged to you. You used to think you were overlooked, that you had missed your window. Let me assure you, not 1 second of your journey was squandered. Each rejection, question, or slammed door served to prepare you for this very crossroads. These are not defeats, they were my training sessions. Your heart needed the capacity to contain the magnitude of my promise. Your spirit had to be robust enough not to crumble when the door flew open. Your perception had to be keen enough to see that this is not a rehearsal, but your destiny beckoning you forward. Thus, my beloved, open that door now, not hurriedly, but with reverential awe, not just with your hands, but with a spirit saturated in thanks and expectancy. This is not for skepticism. This is not a place to hesitate. I am acting swiftly, and anyone lagging behind will remain stuck in yesterday's cycle. You, however, are invited to progress, not only to seize your share, but also to forge a trail for those following you. That knocking conveys more significance than you realize. It is not solely a sound, it is a divine reminder that your existence is never overlooked in my sight. It arrives with blessings you assumed were lost. It bears healing for old injuries you endured, healing achieved not by delayed apologies, but by heaven's restorative nature. Once you open the door, you will see beyond the messenger. You will behold me, standing right behind them. It is I who sent them. I gave them the words. I will see to it that what they speak becomes a catalyst, enlarging your spiritual perspective. You will know it is a divinely orchestrated situation because your heart will quake as never before. You will not battle to comprehend. My spirit will confirm it within you, not through shallow feelings, but by a profound calm, the kind that defies logic and only emanates from me. From now on, never again minimize your worth. Do not let others' that inability to see my revelation cause you to question it. Avoid comparing your journey, for I did not craft you to be another's duplicate. You bear my distinct seal, inscribed in my own hand, tailored for a calling no one else can fulfill. You have carried silent sorrow, yet now you shall stand in glory, requiring no introduction. My presence in you shall speak volumes. The holiness shaped in the refining fire will make people see. This is one who emerged from the flames unscathed, who traversed the night while preserving the inner light. So, beloved, extend your arms and advance. This hour is not a mere footnote to your story. It is the pivot point. It marks the holy pivot from an old chapter to an entirely fresh one. You will not walk alone. I go with you. My angels encircle you. Michael stands guard behind you, and this door I have opened, none can close it. My beloved, certain events in the unseen dimension are unfolding beyond your physical senses, yet they now affect your path, your mind, and even your destiny. In the hushed tides of the spiritual realm, war is being waged. It does not signify your weakness, but rather the name you carry, a name inscribed in eternal records, a name once enunciated in heaven's assembly. The enemy is shaken not by your fragility, but by the prospect of you rising in such power that they can no longer restrain you. Archangel Michael, who once fought for my people, stands in the heavenly court to defend your honor, your destiny, and the spiritual legacy I have planted within you. He faces not only the hidden slanderers in the shadows, but also intervenes against the accusatory voices you allowed to echo in your own heart. There were moments you doubted yourself, wondering, am I on the wrong track? Was it all just a misleading dream? But grasp this, even in your uncertainty, I never stopped believing in you. Michael, wielding a sword forged of eternal radiance, battles not only the darkness around you, but also the judgments rising from within. For your commission is not lightweight. Your allotment is no trivial matter. You were never chosen to live a life of safe conformity, but to be a pillar under the storms of a spiritual era prone to upheaval. You have been specifically assigned to greatness, to a mission touched by holiness. Consequently, the forces arrayed against you are intensifying. You have asked, why was my closest companion the one who hurt me most? Why did the harshest words come from those I loved? Why did it all collapse right as I neared the promise? Take this to heart. No delay in your journey is purposeless. Every betrayal was a sovereign separation, my way of freeing you from attachments unfit to journey forward with you. Every postponement was not meant to break you, but to forge within you an invisible yet priceless element: discernment. Because the gift I am about to present you with is more than a blessing, it also carries the power of choice. And I must be certain that upon entering this new horizon, you possess maturity enough to distinguish real from counterfeit. Today, I am sending someone, not a casual acquaintance or an encouraging voice, but a unique vessel I have selected to mark a turning point. Through their message, a door will open. Yet realize something: the door will not open by itself. It will not give way just because you want it or because you have suffered. It swings wide only when you decide. And that choice, nobody else can make it on your behalf. You can cross the threshold or retreat into familiarity and stagnation. You can accept the unknown, sacred, and transformative, or cling to the pieces you have tried to keep intact by your own strength. But mark this well: you can no longer remain silent. Revelation accelerates, pressing upon you with unstoppable momentum, and indecision can no longer function as your shelter. This hour calls you to declare through action that you trust what I have carved upon your heart. None else fully comprehends how heavy your burdens have been. They did not witness the nights you cried in solitude. They did not hear the pleas you lifted up when no one else could see your tears. They were absent from your internal struggles, from the hidden battles you fought to keep your heart free from bitterness, your arms from closing, your soul from turning numb. Therefore, I will not surrender this choice to outsiders, for only you know the true extent of the cost. Only you deserve to place your hand upon this door. Turn the handle and proceed in the dignity I instilled in you from creation's dawn. My treasured one, the verdict you reach today will reshape your life's trajectory. Its impact will ripple not just over your future days, but also across the lineage that follows. For I am giving you something that is not for you alone. It is a key that will usher others into liberty. Certain lives will be freed from their chains once you decide to answer yes. Certain souls will uncover their deliverance when you dare to embrace the calling burning within. Do not allow exhaustion to snuff out the glow you glimpsed. Do not let fleeting frustrations persuade you to discard what I have already sanctioned. You stand nearer than ever. My breath envelops you. My angels move around, orchestrating perfect timing, connecting people and places as needed. Do not be dismayed if what I request goes beyond your present capacity. I did not choose you because you had it all. I chose you so that through me, you would be enough. Do not try to analyze it with human faculties alone, because understanding often follows revelation, not the other way around. And do not wait for your emotions to settle, for obedience leads the heart, not vice versa. I plead with you, do not disregard this crucial moment. Do not discard what you are sensing solely because it contradicts logic. Do not mute the quiet rumblings of your spirit, labeling them as ephemeral. What resounds within you now is not foreign. It is the echo of something ancient, resonating from the core of my being, planted in you well before you took your first earthly breath. This message will not come and go. It is a divine calling, reawakening within you that holy recollection your soul has clung to since before the cosmos were shaped. Though you have wrestled with doubt, your heart recognizes the sacredness of this timing. Your soul trembles, not from terror, but from an indescribable certainty, too profound for words, yet more absolute than any rational argument. You feel my spirit brushing aside layers of memory you once buried. You can't articulate it, but you sense a sacred dimension stirring, a part of you jolting from a deep sleep, as though hearing an echo from a place long lost to your conscious mind. Those dreams you labeled random illusions, flashy sparks flitting across your subconscious, were never without meaning. I declare they were not your own creations, but coded messages from the spiritual realm, glimpses of the dimension you were connected to before birth. Yes, You were there. You stood in my presence, heard the notes you later dismissed as vague impressions. When you sense tears well up inexplicably at a certain melody, it's not frailty. It is the resonance between your inmost spirit and the heavenly vibrations I am now stirring within you. You are not unhinged. You are remembering. You are re-experiencing at a soul level what once belonged to you before you had physical form, before your name was whispered by any human tongue. It's a call, a heavenly invitation beyond space and time, a stamp etched onto your essence by my own hand. Now it has begun to stir and demand a reply, not because it requires confirmation, but because you need to be validated through your choice. My child, I recognize you are tired. I have witnessed your years of wrestling with decisions and identities, searching to define your worth, seeking approval from those who were never deep enough to grasp my deposit in you. I have come now not to contend with you logically, but to stand here, strong yet tender, to speak clearly. Remember those instants you felt something indescribably greater than yourself, while others were clueless. Remember the eyes that saw you as different, because you were. Recall how many times you nearly abandoned hope, yet something within refused to surrender. This was not stubbornness. It was the dormant spark of your calling, quietly burning in you. Now that spark ignites into flame, not to burn you, but to shine. You have stood on this threshold before, not in physical form, but in spirit. When I fashioned you, I breathed a mission into your being, and nothing short of that mission will ever fill the void. Neither wealth nor status nor partial loves will fill your innermost emptiness, because your soul longs to return to the original plan I fashioned from the outset. Oh, beloved, you are not floundering. You are retracing your steps to the surest path I authored. However, you must do a single thing. Do not muzzle that stirring within you just because others can't hear it. Do not suppress the trembling in your soul for fear of seeming foolish. Do not bury your spiritual memories just because they clash with the world's schedules or their definition of who you should be. Recognize this is not a season for hesitation. No more postponing. The reawakening within you is no fleeting fancy. It is a divine reality approaching swiftly. Its arrival is perfectly timed for when your maturity, stability, and comprehension converge to realize that anything easily lost was never eternal to begin with. I am calling your name once again, exactly as I did before the universe was laid down. But this time, I am not calling you from afar. I am standing right beside you, resonating with the pattern of your heartbeats, illuminating each ray of hope that spurs you to believe you are made for more than a mundane existence. Indeed, accept this. Once you acknowledge that the call isn't far off, but is in fact an ancient memory stirring to life, your destiny starts to break open. You will no longer cater to others for significance, no longer bow to public opinion. You will proceed as someone branded by eternity, needing no other proof, for your presence alone will declare my plan taking shape on earth. So do not balk. Turn inward to the source from which genuine life flows. Let those sacred recollections guide you to your true home, not where people demand you be, but where I have prepared a place. This is not merely a homecoming. It is the resurgence of a covenant, a cause, a calling that only you can fully realize. My precious one, as you embark on unearthing your identity in this holy light, I urge you to hold tight to something your spirit once comprehended. Never sever our connection. Even as fresh revelations dawn and the calling in your heart gains clarity, you cannot continue or cultivate them without ongoing closeness between my heart and yours. Do not wait for feelings of spirituality to approach me. Do not think you must be morally flawless, thoroughly pure, or unbelievably worthy to speak to me. Absolutely not, my child. In your fatigue, confusion, and emotional tangles, that is when I most desire you to draw near. I do not request perfection. I ask for authenticity. A spirit willing to open, to be transparent, before the one who gave it life. Share with me, not in flowery phrases or systematic recitations, but in the most candid language your heart can manage. When you are happy, let me know. When you are sorrowful, tell me quickly. When you are stranded, let me be your primary refuge, not your last solution. You can talk to me anytime, late at night in bed, on a packed street, in the kitchen with wet hands, or among a throng of faces when you feel utterly alone. I am never distant or locked away in cold inaccessibility. I am perpetually near, listening for your voice. My child, I am mending the line of communication we once had, a conduit of the spirit you tasted when your faith was untainted and pure, long before cynicism crept in. Now I summon you back, not to restart from square one, but to continue where you left off. The critical element is our unbroken conversation, for prayer is not ritual, but breath. If your soul truly wishes to live and flourish in its purpose, it must be sustained by prayer's steady, genuine conversation, ongoing dialogue between you and me. I know there were stretches when you prayed and saw no visible shift. Times you implored with tears, only to meet silence so thick you questioned whether I was listening at all. However, none of your prayers vanished into emptiness. Some received instant replies. Some needed to wait because the hour had yet to ripen. Others I held back, not from a lack of love, but because I had a greater gift awaiting you. Throughout all, the true treasure lay in our relationship, not in the outcome of requests. Do not let the hustle of living pull you away from these intimate talks with me. Do not let fleeting triumph lull you into thinking you can continue alone, nor let failures, sins, or shame make you hide from my presence. I will not reject you. Under every condition, my arms remain wide, not as a judge listing your flaws, but as a father who yearns for your gaze. There might be times you do not know how to speak or what to say. Perhaps you offer only a sigh or whisper my name through tears. My child, I comprehend fully. Each sob, each pause, each pang too deep for words. Eloquence is not my requirement. I hunger for sincerity. In that raw truth, I will meet you, restore you, reinforce you, exceeding all you believed was possible. Make our dialogue the bedrock of every choice and plan. Before you take action, share it with me. Before making decisions, stop to speak with me. Before stepping into something or forming a significant bond, confide in me. Do not let what looks good on the surface become a snare simply because it lacks my blessing. When I am central, everything else assumes its proper order. Also know that conversation with me is not merely about your words, but also listening to mine. There are things I long to plant in your soul in quiet intervals. Pieces of wisdom can only be conveyed once you cease your striving and embrace rest. Provide room not just for you to speak, but for you to listen. Often, the hush is where you will sense me most distinctly. A deep understanding, a sudden stirring of thought, a verse that surges to mind, or a serene calm that defies your situation. On your path to fulfill your destiny, unexpected forks will emerge. There will be sparkling but deceptive shortcuts, enticing but misguided detours, roads that look innocent but are lures to trap you. For this reason, do not loosen your grip on me. Come not just in crisis, but also in success, so I can hold you in humility. Come when at ease, so I can keep you vigilant. Every single day, come to me, not out of duty, but from the awareness that you cannot truly live apart from my presence. My cherished one, the relationship between us is not seasonal, but an unending stream. Once you drink from it, that emptiness you felt will vanish. No more drifting in dark confusion. No more nights of unrelenting questions. You may remain partially unaware, yet you will absolutely know that I am always at your side. Therefore, as you progress, returning to your original design, reclaiming your commission, I urge you to let prayer become the unending rhythm undergirding your life. Let each act be permeated by this living relationship. As a result, not only will my voice grow clear, but you will reflect more of my nature with every step. Indeed, this is the crowning gift. Not any single promise or miracle or story of triumph, but a living, intimate bond with me. If you guard that above all else, no turbulence will uproot you. You will be grounded in the one who never changes, bearing fruit that abides forever. Now offer me the deepest prayer of your soul. You might say, Lord, I sense your call echo within my soul, woven through every line of this message. I open my being, my home, my spirit to welcome you. Come, speak your truth and light into my life, unveiling what I am ready to see. I do not wish to miss the divine shift you have planned today. Whatever form your messenger takes, I choose to honor you without hesitation or skepticism. Turn the page to my next chapter, free of masks and illusions, centered solely on truth and your radiant light. Lord, I offer this prayer amidst the quivering in my heart. Shield me in this time of revelation. Pour your peace over me, one that surpasses every outward factor, and grant me anointed vision that discerns reality from emotion. I plead that you silence every accusing whisper. Let every slanderous remark fade, swallowed by the radiance of truth. I do not pursue vengeance. I yearn for redemption. I do not want them shamed. I ask for the restoration only your justice can provide. Give me grace to stand firm, not reacting in the flesh, but dwelling in holy stillness, reflecting your voice. God, as heavenly powers shift and veiled facts come to light, awaken my spirit. Let not old faces or voices rattle me. Give me clarity to identify those you truly send, and likewise to recognize those who approach only to calm their own dread of the light. Hide me from illusions masked as kindness. Show me the moments to be silent, to speak, to yield, or to rise. I do not crave impulsive reflex, but obedience. And on this day, I present myself, mind, body, and soul, just as your word promises. I claim back everything ever stolen from me. Replenish not merely resources, but my dignity, my words, my rightful standing, and every blessing falsely signed away through hidden covenants. In faith I vow, from now on, my destiny is steered by you alone. Return the inheritance of my spirit, the timely blessings, and the clarity that disperses confusion. I do not merely pray for restitution, but for a heavenly kind, pure, irrefutable, bearing your mark. Lord, I decree I am no longer manipulated. I am no longer cast aside. I will not be excluded from conversations about my own life. I am chosen, anointed, and under the guardianship of Michael the Archangel. I renounce every nameless bond, every inherited fault, every delay attached to my name. I depart the gloom for the light, no terror, just the fortitude of one readied for a time such as this. My destiny is no longer entombed. It is emerging, each step unveiling more. My child, this moment was not a conclusion. It was a commissioning. You did not stumble upon this word by chance. I brought you here to speak what no one else could, to awaken what you thought had died, and to release what was once withheld. But hear me, this is only the beginning. There are more words I've prepared, more confirmations waiting, more healing still to come. So return here, not just to watch, but to listen. Not just to hear, but to encounter me. Subscribe, not for content, but for clarity. Turn on notifications, not to be informed, but to be aligned. And share this, not for views, but because someone else is wandering in the dark, praying for the very light you just received. Every time you come back, I will meet you again, with fresh oil, with deeper insight, with the next piece of your path. You are not just a viewer, you are being equipped, commissioned, called. And I promise you this, the same voice that spoke here today will continue to speak until my word in you is fulfilled. Amen.